yesterday. Well, actually, my guy stopped by and seen a tree on a house in Amory, and they're like, "Hey, here's a card." Those people called me, and they want us to come remove it and haul it all off. So we got to take all the equipment to Amory this morning, which is fine because we still got a job to finish up yesterday. We were doing a job yesterday, some stumps, and the homeowner's son's truck was stuck in the yard right beside one of the stumps, which is a 45-minute drive. But we couldn't finish the job. We did one stump, couldn't do two. And they were like, "Oh yeah, you can come back today. The truck's out of the yard now." Anyways, now we got to go back to do that, which is fine. On a normal day, that would be just a waste of time, but luckily we're going back anyways. With all the damage, and Amory will be going back and forth for months probably. People keep calling. We got other jobs we bid. We got other jobs we got to go back and do, stumps and stuff. And jobs we've already done the trees off the houses. Anyways, then we got a call in from Calhoun City. The guy has supposedly I've seen pictures, but pictures never do anything justice. But it's a monster pine laying across. It looks like a two-story house on like a retaining wall on one story of the house. On the other, it's like holes poked through the house everywhere. So anyways, now we gotta go to Calhoun City and totally remove that tree. So to all my customers that are normal customers, it's kind of getting dry. It's going to rain again this weekend. Please forgive me. I don't want to put anybody off, but right now I'm at like 5 weeks, and I told a lot of my customers that I would be there 4 weeks, and I should have been getting to a few more of y'all the last week or two, but it's been the tornado hitting Amory, and I helped there for a week, and then it rained again. So just forgive me. I'm going to do the best work for y'all. I don't mean to be putting y'all off. It's just trees on houses, and I'm trying to take care of that. So my normal residential work and a little bit of commercial work that I got, please forgive me. I'm coming. I'm going to do a great job. Thank y'all for waiting on me. All right, so back in Amory. I'll say hi. What's up, guys? We got one that fell on this house. The guy seen it yesterday, and they stopped and gave him a card. And we're here today to get it off. Set the makeup in the front, reach over, start taking the ones up top off, get down to the bottom, probably get that whole one off there first, and then take all this off, and then get right there, and we'll cut it free from the house, and then hopefully the roots hold it off the fence. That's the plan. Go forward one time. Yeah, another way. No, stop. Just a little bit. All right, stop. All right, how's everybody doing? Sorry, it's been weeks since I put out a video. I've had this video. This is from Amory, so this itself happened a month after the tornado, so this is still almost 2 months old video. I just hadn't shared some of them. The whole editing and stuff is just kind of a learning curve for me. Like for instance, right here, I've really wanted to put music in and just over these time lapses and play some jams, and I've download a bunch of music, but I still not figured out this LumaFusion, so I got to get on the phone with Tim or Lindsay and get them to help me do this a little better. But I figured a little voiceover wouldn't hurt anything. So yeah, here just setting up this homeowner. This is the guy that I'll be speaking of here in a little bit. Very nice guy, and he paid, his insurance paid him pretty fast, and he paid me pretty fast. But he wanted it quoted sight unseen, which is very, very stupid on my part. And so basically I'm mad at myself in most of these videos I'm talking about how this didn't go well. My guys told me, hey, an hour, we're done. Well, It ended up taking about 3.5 hours, and we hauled everything off. And it's a storm work. It's from the tornado, and the city's already, you know, Amory's already paid a lot of money to, or the state or FEMA or whoever, to haul a lot of stuff off. And you can't really see it in this video, but a block over, there's, I mean, the homes are just destroyed. There's stuff on all the corners. And the right thing to do for what I bid, and it still would have been super cheap, would be just set all this on the curb and let the city get it for the amount that I quoted him. But I told him I'd haul it off, and when I got there, I was like, this tree is, you know, way too big for the amount that I gave him. And so anyways, I'm whining about that in some of the video, and that's why I hadn't shared this video. But, you know, I've got over it, I guess, and it's just, you know, it is what it is. And what I've really learned the past few months is just learning how to bill properly. I feel like a lot of people want you to bill, you know, they want a quote, but they want a physical quote, and I believe they're just turning that physical quote in, and they're calling you back, you know, days later, hey, can you do it cheaper? And I know for sure one company did that to me. They wanted a big quote, and they turned it in, and then they called back and said, hey, would you do it a little cheaper? Would you do it a little cheaper? And that's just not right. They're using me for a big quote, and then they want me to do the work cheaper. And that's just not fair. I'm the one that's got the invested in the equipment, got to get up there and risk, you know, getting hurt or whatever. And but I understand, you know, they're middlemen, that's their job. But I love just dealing directly with the homeowners. For instance, a couple weeks ago, I had a little storm come through Tupelo, and there was 3 or 4 houses people wanted me to work on, and this one family said, hey, just do it, and here's our adjuster's number and their email, just bill them directly. And it was like nothing out of the, you know, the homeowners didn't have to deal with it. And, you know, it's hard to explain to a homeowner, hey, yeah, it's going to be X amount of thousands of dollars, you know, for this accident that just happened. You know, they don't understand, you know, what a $600,000 crane, you know, looks like to rent it, what a chipper looks like to have 4 or 5 guys that are trained with equipment and saws. They don't understand, you know, yeah, it's going to be 10 grand or 20 grand. It's just kind of hard. It's kind of a punch in the gut, I feel like. But if you can deal directly with the insurance companies, like that one I did not too long ago, the insurance company's like, oh yeah, that's great. And a handful of insurance companies that we dealt with, the little jobs we did in Amory, you know, we were just bidding, you know, for instance, one was, I sent my guy to look at it, and the adjuster met there, and he said, hey, you know, I think 5 grand's fair. And he said, oh no, you know, you should have bid, you know, this is worth 7 grand. We're gonna give you 7 grand, get it done. And so we know that we're very fair on our pricing, because even an adjuster is telling us, no, you know, you're not bidding properly. You know, you need to make more money if you're going to do it or whatever. And so we know we're very fair, and we try to be fair. I've always tried to be fair and efficient. And I think the right thing to do for homeowners that have insurance is, you know, get the tree to the curb, you know, grind the stump for free, you know, free or whatever, or, you know, put it in the quote. But I know that insurance companies don't pay for that. They pay for get it off the house so we can save as much money on the inside, you know, the construction wise, because they got to pay for the, you know, the roof being fixed, the inside being fixed, and the whole thing is like get there fast, get it off so they can tarp it. And that's what I'm doing, is I'm saving the insurance company money by doing it fast and efficient and saving the inside of the house. I know there's no point in taking a tree off of a house that's already demolished or whatever maybe, but mainly, you know, a tree that barely fell on a house, that's where we shine. We can come in and save the insurance money by getting it off efficiently. So anyways, this is the last little clip, just doing a little sawing right here, a little normal speed, taking these last few pieces off. This lady behind that actually the pecan tree come out of, she actually paid us, wanted to pay us to grind the stump. I didn't want to do it. Like at this point in time, I'm 2 months behind, and I didn't want to do it. But anyways, here's more of the video. 3, almost 4. So I bid it accordingly, sight unseen, based off what some of my guys said. And it was, I quoted it, and the guy said that he wanted me to do it for less. I tried to explain to him. I was like, you're not paying me. It's, you know, insurance pay. He was trying to deal with me for his mother. She was elderly. I said, she doesn't owe me anything. I'm going to give you a bill. You turn it into insurance. They'll give you money. You deposit it. You write me a check. I'm trying to explain to him that's how it works. Well, he wanted to. He was kind of giving me a hard time. It's a storm job. And typically if there's storms and the trucks running around picking up, you don't have to you don't have to haul it off. So he said his insurance only wanted to give me $500 for hauling it off, and I was like, we'll just leave it all here on the curb. I don't want to haul any of it off, even though I done chipped 90% of it. And he was like, no, you said you're going to do it for this price. And I said, yes, sir, sight unseen. So it was a little hard. It was a little challenging. You know, you wonder, you hear stories of other people, you know, saying, hey, I'll do it for $3,000. And then they like, no, you know, I'm gonna, you know, it's $4,000. And I've always thought those people were just scamming or doing something wrong. But I completely understand with today's situation. I got there, it was a little bigger than what my guys said it was. What I bid it for over the phone was fine, but the customer wanted me to not. He didn't say the insurance wasn't paid. He just said he wanted me to do all of it for a lower price. And he was trying to say, he was hustling for the insurance company, I guess. But anyways, I see now why a lot of guys are like, hey, this is our minimum. Because the guy's like, oh yeah, you know, you did that in half a day. And you know, the neighbors wants a stump grind, and another neighbor wants work done. And he said, that's good, ain't it? And I said, no sir, because I'm losing customers in Tupelo right now. A lot of them are going to wait on me, but a lot of them are not. Every day that it's sunny, I should be doing jobs that are on our own schedule. So I'm upsetting those people. Speaking of, I got a handful of people I need to text, because I told them I'd be there in 4 weeks. This week is 4 weeks, and I'm probably not going to get there because I'm doing these storm jobs. So I have to reach out to them, and they may wait on me, and they may say, hey, another company said they'd do it for a little less or a little more, so I'm going to lose those. So when it comes to storm work, it should be a little higher because of the rush, because of you're losing business for it, because of all the equipment that it takes to do it properly, and the risk of it's dangerous and more things can happen. Like that guy was sitting there videoing me the whole time, and if one thing would have hit the house or tore something up, he would want me to stay there and pay somebody to fix it. So that's why storm work is a little bit more expensive, and emergency work and all that. So, all right, job number 2, getting the mech backed in, get her opened up. Got this pine tree right here. It's a big one. It's like my old girlfriend. Big, round, and heavy. No, I'm joking. That's my buddy always said. Yeah, that's a sucker's thick. That thing is a solid 33, 34 inches right in there. At least. Maybe 35. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Alright, with these teeth, now you can't see from there, but the tips rounded off, and somehow got the depth gauges real low. Last week or 2 weeks ago, when we had all the storms going on, had some friends, let some people run my saws. We were helping people and doing work, you know, for free. I mean, we're doing work for free and doing jobs. So there's people kind of grabbing saws. And I've got, I don't even know, 20 grand worth of chainsaws. And everybody's just grabbing them. And everybody said at first when they grab them, they're like, man, them saws are bad. And after they ran them about 5-10 minutes, they're like, it don't cut no more, I hit concrete. So I had a lot of chains get ruined. I don't know, man. It's stuff like that, you know, kind of burns you on helping people, because it costs you so much to let other people help you help people. I don't know. I gotta readjust my thoughts and ideas on helping people, because some people, you know, really appreciate it, and you love helping those kind of people. Some people don't even say thank you. I guess you can't let that slow you down. You know, if you feel like the Lord told you to do something, you got to do it. Sometimes you don't understand why. It's best just to do what you're told, whatever lays on your heart. But filing this guy down, the depth gauges are really low for some reason. I mean, they're really low. I think what happened was somebody was using my So this is a skip tooth. So I think what they were doing was they had this, when it's a skip tooth, you can't like, you know, push down over here hard. As you can see, this is gone. So it's really grabbing. When it's a skip tooth, you kind of got to let it sit back here on this guide that sits back here and kind of hugs it up, and you got to sit on that one. But it looks like somebody was just, because that other guide will ride way down here, so it gets really low on your depth gauge or rakes. I don't know why we call them rakes. I always call them rakes, but it's the depth gauge, what controls how much that tooth eats. Anyways, I ran the saw a while ago, first time since a couple weeks ago. Cats fighting. Now dogs coming to chase the cats. There's a lot of animals at this house. Cats inside, cats outside, and a lot of mini dogs around the pool area. It used to be a pool, and barking at me. So this is gonna be fun. Anyways, trying to get this chain right. Depth gauges are probably lower than I ever take them down. I would take them down. So it's grabbing a little too much. But I'd rather have a grabby saw than one that's just throwing little bit of dust. Let's see if that's gonna get them about right. I don't like throwing away chains. Some people, had a lot of friends make fun of me for my chains, but I get my life out of them. They're $30, $40, $50 a piece. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get my money's worth out of them. I enjoy sharpening chains for myself. I don't enjoy them sharpening them for somebody, because you get that satisfaction of it cutting good and enjoying it while it's cutting. I don't enjoy it if somebody else gets it dull and I got to sharpen it. I don't enjoy that, but it's just part of business. If you're the best sharpener, no matter if you're the boss or not, I guess I just need to train my guys and then better, and they can sharpen them. If I can get somebody to sharpen saw like I do for me, I'd pay them pretty good. But get this sharp. I ain't gonna bore y'all to death with a long video. Get this sharp and we'll get started on this big old pine tree limb on this house. lasting long, but they are. They'll sharpen about one chain. I was wondering how you get 17 for $15. They're not lasting long. The little supposed to be diamond. This little deal. Put on my little Dremel. Show you what I'm doing. Guaranteed to cut. So we just had to take the 20-inch bar off, get to the 25, and I don't think there's a brand new chain in there. Ryan pulled them out, but we've gotten down to this part of the tree, and it's every bit of 25 inches. So we're gonna try to cut about 5 foot off of that, see if it'll just stay there, see what we can do. That was a little rough, but we got it. Well, we got job number 2 done today. It was a monster, pretty good sized pine on a house. And it went pretty good. It's pretty fast. stop, drop, and roll for that kind of money, but you ain't got to pay me right away. When the insurance company pays you, then you can pay me. Well, then I get there, and I know his insurance agent, so I call him, not the adjuster, but the insurance agent. And the insurance agent was like, well, I don't think they approved that kind of number. So I was like, look, I'll do it for this amount. I'm here, I'll do it for this amount. And so anyways, I did it for 35% less than the other guy quoted for it. But it's still good money. Still good money. But I don't know. My thing is with the insurance jobs, like, you're just losing that. You're upsetting customers on your normal customers. So if you're going to upset and you're going to lose customers, you have to make more money to do.
Use the right lane to turn onto State Highway 9 North.
You got it. Just want me to turn. I usually don't come down this way. If I don't put in GPS, I'm liable to drive 20 minutes out of the way before I realize I'm driving out of the way. Anyways, got it done.
Right.
Alright. Quoting jobs. Today, one of my guys, the guy that does a lot of quoting for me, been with me forever, he said, hey, one of the jobs I quoted, you know, they sounded like as we were walking around looking at trees, they sounded like they were, you know, on board, wanting us to do it. And he said, I gave them a number that I thought was fair. He said, but as soon as I said the number, you could tell their face changed. Like, he said, maybe I was a little high on it. That was a few days ago that he quoted it, I think. But he texted me and said, hey, why don't you reach out to him and you go look at it and see if you can't do it a little cheaper. So I waited all day long, and I reached out just recently, and they said they let somebody do it for like 20. Somebody said they'd do it for 20% cheaper than what we said, which was the number he told me that I'd probably do it for. You know, and this person said they could do it right away. That's great. I don't know if they gave them my quote. It's so hard when you go in first, because anybody, especially anybody that's doesn't do nowhere near as good as work as you, can just say, oh, I'll do it for 10% less, or hey, yeah, they said $5,000. Oh no, I'd do it for $4,500. But they can't do it the same quality. They can't, like, not tear up the yard. They're not going to grind the stump. They're not going to, you know, not hit your fence or hit your house or hit your window or whatever. So typically when I quote a job, it does seem, you know, it may seem a little high, but I mean, we're going to do excellent work, like top notch. So you're getting more bang for your buck, because we strive on doing, like, you know, no marks in the yard, no tearing up. Like, it looks like it looked, minus the tree, is the way I try to do it. Not great. We try, you know, I mean, every now and then, I mean, you're going to have some ruts or whatever. I had one guy, I've done now, I don't know, 1,000, 1,200 jobs, and I had one neighbor that I drove across his yard. Before I had a nice spider lift, I used to rent like big 4-wheel drive lifts, you know, like construction looking type lifts to do tree work if it's something big. And I drove that across that dude's yard, and it pushed his yard down like a solid inch, little rut. And you know, you could just tamper it out, put a little sand in there. He had good grass, it would have popped back up in it. He threw a fit. I told him, I said, man, let me put sand. I don't want sand, I want topsoil. I was like, topsoil's gonna have a lot of junk in it, it's gonna have weeds. Sure enough, we put the topsoil in there. He said he was fine. A couple months later, it wasn't nothing but weeds growing too fast. And so then he was still upset, and the guy was a drunk, and he would get drunk and he would cuss the neighbor out that I did the work for. And so that neighbor called me like a year later. He's like, he still cusses me out all the time. He said, can you try? So I reached out to True Green, you know, does spraying for weeds and stuff, and reached out to them, and I said, hey, like, go over there and take care of him, send me the bill. And they're like, we know him. Like, we've had so many issues, run-ins with him. He'll get drunk, and then he'll get mad because he finds one blade of grass not the right kind or whatever in his yard. But anyways, that guy, we took care of him. But so we've learned from those mistakes, and we try not to make those mistakes again. But when I quote a job, I try to quote it to do the whole job. Every now and then people are like, hey, you know, what can we get for, you know, $1,000 less or a couple $100 less? And I'm like, hey, you know, we can knock ground the stump, or we can knock ground the stump good, or we can not haul it off, we can put it in a burn pile and y'all burn it later. So there's lots of ways to like save money if you have the room to put it, you know, somewhere on your land, or if you know, it's a small amount, you want to put it on the curb, you don't want to pay for haul off. You know, some cities are pickier about that. I try to always haul stuff off at Tupelo. I don't want to be that guy that doesn't haul stuff off. But technically, the city has an ordinance, and if I'm not mistaken, it's worded, if you are paid to haul off, you haul off. So what happened in 2014 when we had a tornado come through, lots of guys will come in and say, hey, yeah, it's $5,000 to get a tree off your house, and they charge $1,000 to haul off. Well, then they just set the tree on the side of the road and they never hauled it off. So I've kind of run into some of that with this. Like today, the guy told me that his insurance is only gonna pay $500 to haul off. I filled my chip bed full. One, I brought a chipper. That's $500 if you go rent one. I brought a chip truck. You can't rent one, but I imagine it's worth a few $100s to rent one. If you could rent one, a dump truck. So anyways, that, and then I had a trailer load of logs that I hauled off. That's $400. So minimum is what I usually charge to haul off something. So anyways, that job didn't, I quoted it for $1,000 for haul off, and that would have been fair. $400 for the load and $600 for chipping in a load is a fair amount. But that guy, he wanted to tell me what I should charge the insurance company, and it was a pain in the butt. Anyways, I don't know if I'll ever show this video.